All right, so I'm about to go over the 9-7 practice. So you use this as you need to. Hopefully, you've at least attempted all of them. Although, if you're stuck on one, feel free to go through and look at the one that you're stuck on, go back, finish, turn it in. Whatever is going to be best for you in learning this. Okay, so I just want to show you how I want the work to look, and certainly make sure what you turn in looks like this. All right, number one. So Harry Potter and Ron Weasley were confused. They were supposed to board for Hogwarts at platform 9 3/4. They can't find it. Then they saw they were only at platform 5. How many more platforms do they have to go until they reach theirs? So how many more? That's a subtraction question. So we have 9 3/4 minus 5. This is not a hard one at all. Okay, so we have whole number side, fraction side. Well, we have no fourths over here on the 5. Not a big deal. We just say, okay, 3/4 minus nothing is 3/4. And 9 minus 5 is 4. So the answer is 4 3/4, 4 3/4 platforms. Okay. Please make sure you remember word problem, word answer. All right. And the reason that we need to do that is we need to make sure our answer is reasonable. And so that's going to be why that's required. All right. That's number one. Two. All right. Let's see. Mrs. Coleman used 1 2/3 cups of sugar to make a pie, 2.5 cups to make tea, and 1/8 of a cup to make soup. If Miss Coleman started with 5 3/4 cups of sugar, how much does she have left over? So that leftover tells us we're going to subtract at some point. But first of all, we need to know how much sugar she used. And the way we're going to find how much she used is we're going to take this plus this plus this. Okay, so we have 1 2/3 cups of sugar. So number 2, we have 1 2/3. We have 2.5, and we have 1/8. You can add 3 at the same time. That's fine. All right, now whole numbers, fractions. All right, so we got some weird stuff going on here because we got 3 denominators. All right, so well, 2 is a factor of 8. So whatever it's going to be for 8 and 3 is going to be fine for 2. So 8, if you think about your multiples, 8, 16, 24. 3 is also a factor of 24. So 24 will work here, and there's not a better one. Okay, so we're going to put 24 as our common denominator, that being the LCM of 2, 3, and 8, like so. Okay, 8 times 3 is 24. Same on the top. We get 3 over 24. 2 times 12 is 24. Do the same on the top. And then 3 times 8 is 24. And do the same on the top, and you get 16. So we'll add our numerators. 16, 24 plus 12 that's 28, right? So it's 28. Plus another 3 is going to give us 31 over 24. Not a problem. We can fix that. 1 plus 2 is 3 on our whole number side. Now, 31 over 24, and most of y'all can probably do that in your head. But if you need to do it, write it down. That would be 24 into 31, top dog in the doghouse. All right, and that's going to leave us with a remainder of 7. So 1 and 7 over 24 on our fraction side. Okay, we need to combine that with our whole number side. So add that to the 3, and that will give us 4 and 7/24 cups. But don't fall for that trick. This is kind of a tough one because she started with 5 3/4 cups of sugar. How much does she have left over? Okay, so she has used, that's what she's used, is 4 and 7/24. So now we got to subtract that from 5 3/4 cups of sugar she started with. Okay, this is a complicated problem, but it's a very realistic one. All right, so we're going to subtract 4 and 7 over 24. Okay, so when we scale the 3/4 up, it's going to go over 24. So that's at least useful here that there's nothing else we have to do with it. Okay, so 24ths. All right, here we're cool because we already have 24ths, right? So now we just need to scale this one up. 4 times 6 is 24. Do the same on the top. So we have 18 24ths minus 7 24ths. And she has 11 24ths. All right. And then on our whole number side, 5 minus 4 is 1. So 1 and 11 24ths cups of sugar left. Okay. So that's number 2. That's probably the toughest one here. All right. Okay. Number 3. All right. Mr. Harris's empty suitcase weighs 4 3/4 pounds. The items he packed in the suitcase weigh 17 3/5 pounds. What's the weight of his suitcase when he filled it? So empty suitcase plus clothes and stuff. So we're going to see how much total it weighs. So 4 3/4 plus 17 3/5. Then we're going to say, okay, whole numbers, fractions. Is there a better denominator than 20 here? No, there's not, because 5 times 4 is 20, 4 times 5 is 20. Best one possible. So common denominator of 20 here. 5 times 4 is 20. Do the same on the top. 4 times 5 is 20. Do the same on the top. 15 plus 12 is 27 over 20. Then 4 plus 17 is 21. Okay. So 27 over 20, though, is going to be, it's improper. So that means we need to divide 20 into 27. Again, you might be able to do that in your head. So that's 1 and 7 over 20. Remember to read it like a clock. So we take our 1 7/20, we add it to our 21, and that will give us his suitcase weighs 22 7/20 pounds. And pounds is shortened to LB for reasons that don't have to make sense to you. Okay, so 22 7/20 pounds. That's number 3. Okay, number 4. Then I'll stop the video and do another one, just so that I'm not making the video so big that it's hard for you to open, hopefully. So number 4 says Mr. Harris was packing his suitcase to fly from Atlanta to New York. The weight limit for suitcases on his flight is 25 pounds. Can he take his bag? How much extra weight could he have packed in his bag? Well, it's less than 25 pounds. So the answer is yes. But the second part of the question is how much more could he pack? Well, that means we need to subtract the 25 minus what his suitcase actually weighs. So 25 pounds minus the 22 7/20 from the last problem, all right, is going to tell us how much more space he had. All right, so here we have a bit of an issue. Our issue is we have nothing over here. All right, that does not work. So we can't just subtract 7/20 from nothing. So we need some 20ths over here. Well, how many 20ths do we have? None. We have no 20ths. That's the problem. So now we need to get some 20ths. How? By borrowing from the whole number side. And when we borrow from the whole number side, 1 whole on this problem equals 20 20ths. So we borrowed ourselves 20 20ths when we borrowed that whole and put it over here. Okay. So that gives us over on this fraction side 20 20ths minus 7/20, and that equals 13 over 20. And then 24 minus 22 is 2. So he could have packed 2 13/20 pounds more. Right? That's how much space he had remaining. That's number 4. Okay. So we'll stop this video here. Please pick back up with the next part, which has number 5 through 9.